Welcome to my channel. Today is best top 4 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. The 5-cent Australia 1993 coin is part of the Australian decimal coinage system, which was first introduced on February 14, 1966, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system. The 5-cent coin became the smallest circulating coin after the withdrawal of the 1-cent and 2-cent coins in 1992. This makes the 1993 5-cent coin part of the first full year in which the 5-cent piece was the smallest denomination in active circulation, giving it added historical interest. Though small in value, the coin plays a vital role in commerce, rounding out small change in everyday transactions. Like other Australian coins, the 5-cent coin is produced by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. The obverse side of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who was the ruling monarch of Australia at the time. The portrait used in 1993 was the third official effigy of the Queen, designed by Raphael Maklauf, a British sculptor. In this depiction, the Queen faces to the right wearing the royal diadem, the George IV state diadem, with her hair carefully styled. This portrait, first introduced in 1985, was intended to present a more regal and formal image of the Queen, showing her with greater maturity compared to the younger portraits used earlier. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II on the left side and Australia 1993 on the right side. This side of the coin represents both Australia's ties to the Commonwealth and its status as a constitutional monarchy under Queen Elizabeth II. The reverse side of the 1993 Australian 5-cent coin features the famous echidna design created by Australian artist Stuart Devlin, who served as the goldsmith and jeweler to Queen Elizabeth II. The echidna, also known as the spiny anteater, is one of Australia's most unique and iconic animals, belonging to the monotreme family, which lays eggs rather than giving birth to live young. On the coin, the echidna is shown curled tightly, with its spines radiating outward and its long snout protruding from the center of the design. This reverse artwork emphasizes the distinctiveness of Australian wildlife, which has long been a theme in the nation's coinage. Below the echidna is the coin's denomination, 5, written in bold numbers. The metal composition of the 5-cent 1993 coin is 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance while also ensuring durability for circulation. The coin weighs 2.83 grams, has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.30 millimeters. Its edge is fully reeded, grooved, making it easy to identify by touch and preventing counterfeiting. These technical specifications have remained unchanged since the introduction of the coin in 1966, giving the 5-cent coin a consistent and recognizable form across decades. The historical context of the 1993 issue is particularly interesting. Just 1 year earlier, in 1992, Australia discontinued the 1-cent and 2-cent coins, meaning that from 1993 onward, the 5-cent coin took on greater importance as the smallest unit of legal tender. While the 5-cent coin has often been criticized for its low purchasing power, in 1993 it still held more value than it does today, making it more useful in daily commerce. This year's coinage also came at a time when Australia's economy was recovering from the early 1990s recession, and coins from this period reflect a transitional moment in the country's financial history. From a numismatic perspective, the 1993 Australian 5-cent coin is not considered rare in circulation since millions were struck for everyday use. However, coins from this year do hold collector interest in certain conditions. Standard circulation strikes are common, but uncirculated coins, proof strikes, and those found in official mint sets are more valuable. The Royal Australian Mint issued special proof and mint sets in 1993 for collectors, and these sets contained coins struck with extra care, resulting in sharper detail and polished surfaces. Such coins, when kept in pristine condition, attract numismatic premiums. The symbolism of the 5-cent coin lies in its design elements. The obverse highlights Australia's constitutional monarchy, connecting the nation to Queen Elizabeth II and the Commonwealth tradition. The reverse emphasizes Australia's distinct national identity through its unique wildlife, with the echidna serving as a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and natural uniqueness. Together, these designs reflect both Australia's ties to tradition and its distinct character as a nation. The 1993 Australian 5-cent coin also represents the resilience of the small denomination. Even though discussions about discontinuing the 5-cent coin began in the 1990s due to inflation and low purchasing power, the coin has remained in circulation to this day. In 1993, the coin still retained enough value to make sense in everyday commerce, particularly when combined with other coins. Its continued minting demonstrates the practical importance of small change in maintaining a functional currency system. For collectors today, the value of the 1993 5-cent coin depends on condition. A circulated example is usually worth only its face value, but uncirculated coins, especially those preserved in protective packaging, can be worth more to collectors. Proof versions, struck with mirrored backgrounds and frosted designs, hold the highest value, especially if they remain in their original presentation cases. Some collectors also look for error coins such as off-center strikes or double-die varieties, which can significantly increase the value of a coin from this year. In summary, the 5-cent Australia Elizabeth II 1993 coin is both a practical piece of money and a meaningful artifact of its time. Its obverse connects Australia to its monarchy, its reverse celebrates native wildlife through Stuart Devlin's echidna design, and its small denomination reflects its role in everyday commerce. The year 1993 also marks the first full year in which the 5-cent coin became the smallest circulating denomination, after the removal of the 1 and 2 cent coins. While common in circulation, its collector versions and pristine examples carry higher value, making it a coin of both everyday and numismatic importance. Next, the 1995 Australian 5-cent coin is part of the decimal coinage system first introduced on February 14, 1966, when Australia moved away from the old pound shillings and pence system. By 1995, the 5-cent coin had already been in circulation for nearly 30 years, and it had become the smallest standard denomination in everyday use, since the 1 cent and 2 cent coins were officially withdrawn from circulation in 1992. This gave the 5-cent coin a more important role in transactions, as it was the smallest coin that remained in people's pockets, purses, and cash registers. The year 1995 itself was not marked by major design changes to the coin, but it represents part of a long-running series that holds historical and numismatic interest for collectors today. The obverse side of the 1995 5-cent coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the monarch of Australia at the time. This portrait was the third official effigy of the Queen, designed by sculptor Raphael Maclauff, and it was used on Australian coins from 1985 until 1998. In this design, Queen Elizabeth II faces to the right, wearing the George IV state diadem, a jeweled crown often worn during formal occasions such as the state opening of Parliament. Maclauff's portrait was intended to present a more formal and dignified image of the Queen, with refined detailing in the hair and crown to emphasize her royal status. Surrounding the portrait are the Elizabeth II on the left and Australia 1995 on the right, identifying both the monarch and the nation of issue. This obverse design reflects the continuing constitutional monarchy and Australia's connection to the Commonwealth. The reverse side of the coin carries one of the most iconic designs in Australian numismatics, the echidna motif created by the artist and goldsmith Stuart Devlin, who was also appointed goldsmith to Queen Elizabeth II. The echidna, or spiny anteater, is a uniquely Australian animal and one of only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world, the other being the platypus. On the coin, the echidna is shown in a curled position, with its spines radiating around the outer edge of the design and its snout extending forward from the center. The fine details of the spines, claws, and snout make this design both striking and symbolic, representing Australia's rich and distinctive wildlife. Beneath the echidna, in bold lettering, is the denomination 5, which clearly identifies the value of the coin for everyday use in terms of metal composition and specifications. The 1995 Australian 5-cent coin is struck in a durable alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-colored appearance that resists tarnishing and wear. It has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, a thickness of 1.30 millimeters, and a weight of 2.83 grams, making it small yet practical for circulation. Its reeded edge allows the coin to be identified easily by touch and also helps prevent counterfeiting. These specifications have remained unchanged since the coin was first introduced in 1966, making the 5-cent coin a stable and consistent part of Australian currency for decades. The historical context of the 1995 issue is important to understand its place in Australia's coinage. By this time, Australia was more than 2 decades into its decimal currency system, and the population had fully adapted to decimal money. However, inflation meant that the purchasing power of the 5-cent coin was steadily declining, sparking debates about whether the denomination should continue to be produced. Still, in 1995, the coin remained in heavy circulation and was used widely across the country, particularly in small everyday transactions and for making change. The 1995 issue also forms part of a continuous annual series, with no special commemorative designs for this denomination in that year, but its role in commerce and consistency in design make it significant. From a numismatic perspective, the 1995 Australian 5-cent coin is not rare in circulation. Millions were minted by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra for everyday use, ensuring an ample supply for the public. However, collector versions were also produced in special proof sets and mint sets released by the mint. These coins are struck with extra care, featuring sharp details and polished finishes, and they are much more sought after by collectors. While circulation strikes are worth only face value in used condition, uncirculated and proof examples from 1995 can fetch higher premiums, especially when kept in original packaging. The symbolism of this coin lies in its two main elements, the Queen's portrait and the echidna. The obverse reflects Australia's political system as a constitutional monarchy, tying the nation to its Commonwealth heritage and traditions. At the same time, the reverse celebrates the uniqueness of Australia's fauna, highlighting an animal that exists nowhere else in the world. This combination of monarchy and wildlife creates a dual identity for the coin, one rooted in history and tradition, and the other in national pride and cultural distinctiveness. The 1995 Australian 5-cent coin also demonstrates the enduring utility of small denominations. Although its value was modest, the coin served an important practical role in cash transactions. It was especially useful in vending machines, parking meters, and as part of exact change in shops. For many Australians in the mid-1990s, the 5-cent coin was still a meaningful unit of money, even though inflation was gradually reducing its significance. Its continued production highlights the necessity of having small denominations available, even when their value is modest in collecting terms. Condition is everything when it comes to the 1995 5-cent coin. Circulated coins are generally only worth their face value, as they are common. However, uncirculated coins from mint rolls or coin sets can carry a small premium, while proof coins, with their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, are worth considerably more. Collectors also pay special attention to potential minting errors, such as off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or double impressions, which can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable rarity. In summary, the 5-cent Australia Elizabeth II 1995 coin is a small yet historically and culturally meaningful piece of currency. Its obverse carries the regal Maklauf portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, linking Australia to its monarchy and Commonwealth traditions. Its reverse showcases Stuart Devlin's echidna design, celebrating the country's unique wildlife. Made of durable copper-nickel alloy and struck in large numbers, it played a practical role in everyday commerce as the nation's smallest circulating denomination. While common in circulation, collector versions such as proof coins remain valuable to numismatists. The 1995 issue is therefore both an everyday coin of its time and a collectible piece of Australia's monetary history. Next, the 1989 Australian 5-cent coin is part of Australia's decimal currency system, which began on February 14, 1966, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence with a modern decimal-based system. Since its introduction, the 5-cent coin has been one of the most recognizable denominations, though small in size and value. By 1989, the coin had been in circulation for more than 2 decades, serving as an essential piece of everyday money for small transactions. Unlike the earlier years when the 1-cent and 2-cent coins were still circulating, the 5-cent coin in 1989 was still part of a 4-coin set of low-value currency, 1C, 2C, 5C, 10C, that made up the foundation of the Australian monetary system. The 1989 issue carries the established designs of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the echidna on the reverse, representing both Australia's Commonwealth heritage and its unique wildlife. The obverse design of the 1989 coin features the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Raphael Maklauf. This effigy was first introduced on Australian coinage in 1985 and continued until 1998. In this portrait, the Queen is shown facing to the right, wearing the George IV state diadem, an ornate crown often used for ceremonial state occasions. Maklauf's effigy was designed to present a more regal and formal image of the Queen compared to the earlier Arnold McKin portrait, emphasizing grace, maturity, and dignity. Around the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II on the left and Australia 1989 on the right, indicating the monarch issuing country and year of minting. This side symbolizes Australia's constitutional monarchy, as the Queen of the United Kingdom also served as the Queen of Australia, represented officially on the nation's coinage. The reverse side features the beloved and distinctive echidna design, which has been a permanent element of the 5-cent coin since 1966. The echidna, spiny anteater, is one of Australia's most unusual native animals, part of the monotreme family of mammals that lay eggs rather than giving birth to live young. Designed by Stuart Devlin, who was also appointed as the goldsmith to Queen Elizabeth II, the echidna is depicted in a curled posture, with its spines radiating outward and its long snout pointing toward the center of the coin. The intricate details of the spines, claws, and snout create a striking and memorable image that represents Australia's unique natural heritage. Below the animal is the denomination 5, clearly marking its value. Devlin's design reflects a deliberate effort to celebrate Australia's natural wildlife on its coinage, making the 5-cent coin instantly recognizable both domestically and abroad. The metal composition of the 1989 5-cent coin follows the same specifications used since 1966. It is made from a copper-nickel alloy, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin a bright, silver-like appearance while ensuring durability in circulation. The coin has a weight of 2.83 grams, a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.30 millimeters, making it small but practical. Its reeded edge provides a textured grip and helps distinguish it from smooth-edged coins. These specifications make the coin durable enough to withstand decades of handling, and many 1989 coins still exist in circulation today. The historical context of the 1989 issue is significant in the evolution of Australian coinage. At that time, the 1-cent and 2-cent coins were still in production, though discussions about their redundancy due to inflation were already beginning. By the end of the early 1990s, these smaller coins would be withdrawn, leaving the 5-cent coin as the smallest circulating denomination. Thus the 1989 issue stands at the edge of this transitional moment, when the lower-value coins were losing their usefulness. In terms of economic history, the late 1980s in Australia were marked by financial reforms and fluctuating inflation, which reduced the real purchasing power of small coins like the 5-cent piece. Nonetheless, the coin remained widely used in everyday commerce, including for vending machines, transport fares, and small retail purchases. From a numismatic perspective, the 1989 Australian 5-cent coin is considered common, as millions were minted for circulation by the Royal Australian Mint. It does not carry particular rarity compared to earlier or later years, but collectors still seek it out in uncirculated or proof condition. Standard circulation coins are easy to find, but mint state examples, those that have never been used in transactions, are valued by collectors for their sharp detail and luster. Proof versions of the 1989 coin were also issued in special collector sets, struck with polished dies to produce mirror-like surfaces and frosted reliefs. These proof coins are much scarcer and more valuable than their circulation counterparts. The symbolism of the coin lies in its design elements. On one hand, the obverse reinforces Australia's political identity as a Commonwealth realm, tied to the monarchy of Queen Elizabeth II. On the other hand, the reverse celebrates Australia's biodiversity through the echidna, one of its most distinctive native animals. This combination of monarchy and wildlife illustrates the balance between Australia's British heritage and its unique national character. In 1989, this dual identity was still very important to Australians, who saw themselves both as part of a Commonwealth tradition and as an independent nation with its own culture and environment. The practical importance of the 1989 5-cent coin cannot be understated. It was a key part of daily commerce, serving as the foundation for making change and rounding off prices. In 1989, the 5-cent coin had more purchasing power than it does today, and while still a small denomination, it was widely accepted and used. It played a role in transport systems, vending machines, and everyday retail, where precision in small change was still necessary. Despite debates about its future, the coin remained an essential part of the Australian monetary system. In terms of collectability and value today, circulated 1989 5-cent coins are generally worth only their face value, given their high mintage and availability. However, uncirculated coins preserved in mint rolls or sets are worth slightly more, often a few dollars each depending on condition. Proof coins from 1989 are more desirable, especially when still housed in their original Royal Australian Mint packaging. Collectors also keep an eye out for minting errors such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks that can greatly increase a coin's value. In summary, the 5-cent Australia Elizabeth II 1989 coin is a small yet meaningful piece of Australian monetary history. Its obverse, bearing Raphael Makhlouf's regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, represents Australia's ties to the monarchy and the Commonwealth. Its reverse, with Stuart Devlin's echidna design, reflects the nation's celebration of its unique and irreplaceable wildlife. Produced in large numbers for circulation, the coin was part of everyday Australian life in 1989, while special proof issues catered to collectors. Though common in circulation, the coin remains significant as part of the broader story of Australia's evolving coinage system, symbolizing both tradition and national identity. Next, the 5-cent coin of Australia from the year 1982, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, is part of the standard circulation coinage of Australia, which was first introduced in 1966 following the nation's adoption of the decimal system. This small denomination coin carries both historical and numismatic value because it reflects the evolution of Australian currency during the late 20th century, an era when the country was strengthening its identity through symbols on coins while retaining the monarch's portrait as a link to the Commonwealth. The 5-cent coin of 1982 holds significance not just as legal tender but also as a cultural artifact representing Australian heritage and economic development. On the obverse side of the coin, one finds the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, which was used on Australian coinage between 1966 and 1984. This effigy shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most famous royal jewels. Around the portrait is the Elizabeth II Australia 1982, indicating both the monarch's name, the issuing country, and the year of minting. The Machin portrait is significant because it represents the young Queen in a graceful and dignified manner, symbolizing both continuity and modernity. For collectors, the obverse serves as an identifier of the specific portrait series used during this period, marking it distinctly as part of the Machin-era coins. On the reverse side, designed by Stuart Devlin, the coin features an image of an echidna, also known as the spiny anteater. A unique Australian animal, the echidna is depicted curled with its long snout and spines clearly visible, emphasizing its distinctive appearance. Surrounding this design is the face value inscription, 5, denoting the coin's denomination. Devlin's designs for Australian decimal coinage are highly celebrated for their artistic quality and their ability to showcase Australia's fauna, and the 5-cent echidna design remains one of the most enduring motifs. Still in use today, the choice of the echidna reflects Australia's effort to highlight its natural environment and native species as national symbols. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1982 Australian 5-cent coin was minted in copper nickel, composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 2.83 grams, has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.3 millimeters. The coin has a milled, reeded edge, consistent with most modern coinage, both for aesthetic reasons and to discourage clipping. These specifications remained unchanged since the introduction of the 5-cent coin in 1966, making it highly recognizable and uniform across different years of issue. The minting and circulation of the 1982 5-cent coin were managed by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. This coin was struck in large numbers for circulation, ensuring widespread use across the country. The year 1982 was not considered a key or scarce year for 5-cent pieces, as no special restrictions or low mintage numbers were reported. Nonetheless, coins from this year still remain of interest to collectors, especially when found in high-grade uncirculated condition or as part of mint or proof sets issued for collectors. From a historical perspective, the 1982 5-cent coin belongs to a period when Australia's economy was adapting to global challenges, and coins such as this served as the foundation of daily transactions. The small denomination coins like the 5-cent played an essential role in everyday purchases, such as newspapers, small food items, and public transport fares today. While inflation has reduced the practical value of the 5-cent coin, in 1982 it was still widely used and respected as an integral part of Australian money. For numismatists and coin collectors, the 1982 5-cent coin is most valuable when preserved in pristine condition. Circulated examples are common and hold only face value, but uncirculated or proof versions can carry higher worth, depending on rarity and demand. Collectors also value coins with minting errors, such as double strikes off centers or die cracks, which may occasionally be found among 1982 issues. Overall, the 5-cent coin of Australia from 1982 featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a piece of Australian numismatic history that combines the regal representation of the monarch with the celebration of native wildlife. Its durable design and long-lasting circulation make it a familiar coin to Australians, while its artistry and symbolism give it enduring appeal in coin collections around the world. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.